Hey, what's up, YouTube? So the question I got today is, can silver make it rain? Well, it's been dry here for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So the garden's been watered, it's hanging in there, but a good rain really does wonders for it. So obviously a silver bar like this is not going to make it rain, but certain elements of silver can make it rain. So let's go in and check out an article out I wanted to share with you guys. All right, guys, what's going on? We're back inside. And I just wanted to share this article, with y'all that I found. And it is on now.northropgrumman.com. So I'll share the link down below in the show notes there in the description. But this is not new. It's an older article. It's written by Kelly McSweeney. And it's called Making It Rain, The Science of Weather Manipulation. So the good part about here is silver makes an appearance, so stick with me. But it says that farmers have long wished they could control rain, and now weather manipulation can do just that. Cloud seeding. The most common way to modify weather involves shooting silver iodide or other chemicals into clouds to encourage precipitation. In other words, a silver bullet can make it rain. The technique is not perfect and it can't solve chronic drought, but it's relatively inexpensive, and many communities around the world are desperate for water. Scientists use weather modification to enhance rainfall and increase water supplies, to disperse fog, and to minimize hail during storms. Private companies and state-sponsored groups have even used cloud seeding to drop fresh snow on ski mountains and to squeeze out rain before major events such as the 2008 Beijing Olympics. So what is cloud seeding? The idea is not to create clouds out of thin air, but to squeeze every last drop of rain from naturally occurring clouds. So what is cloud seeding? Cloud seeding aids or adds substances to clouds by shooting them from the ground or dropping them from planes. Air already contains water vapor, but cloud seeding can encourage water to condense until it falls from the sky. Normally, when air rises into the atmosphere, it cools and forms particles called ice nuclei, which clump together to form clouds. When enough of these cloud droplets combine, they grow bigger until they are heavy enough that they fall to the ground in some form of precipitation, determined by temperature and, of course, other conditions. When you're adding a quote-unquote seed, it gives clouds a boost by creating ice nuclei that grow faster and bigger than normal. Glaciogenic seeding is a technique for squeezing water from clouds. Back in 1946, Bernard Vonnegut, author Kurt's brother, was one of the researchers at GE, or General Electric, who discovered that silver iodide could help clouds form ice crystals. Scientists still aren't exactly sure how it works, but it's possible that ice easily bonds with silver iodide because they both have a similar structure at a molecular level. When more particles collide, ice crystals are formed, and soon the cloud is full of heavy water droplets that become rain. Similarly, hydroscopic seeding is a technique for warm clouds, wherein a simple salt helps encourage water droplets to collide and produce rain. Other weather manipulation techniques that have been considered over the years include blowing storms from land with windmills, cooling the ocean with cryogenic material or icebergs, delaying surface evaporation with monomolecular films, blowing a hurricane apart with hydrogen bombs or laser beams, and injecting air into the center of a storm. Cloud seeding has prevailed because it's the simplest and most cost-effective way to change the weather. So who is manipulating the weather? Although weather manipulation lingers on the fringes of the scientific community, it's practiced more widely than one might expect. More than 50 countries around the world currently have weather modification programs, and the World Meteorological Organization just hosted an expert team meeting on weather modification in Geneva back in June 2017. The reasons for modifying weather vary, depending on where the operation takes place. Russia has removed cloud cover for a national holiday, while India has focused on encouraging rain to fall in drought conditions. China made headlines with authorities said they had cleared the skies by shooting salt-filled bullets into clouds ahead of the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Then, in 2016, the Chinese government announced it had allocated 199 million yuan to spend on its weather modification program to combat drought and reduce the impact of natural disasters. Okay, in 2015, the United Arab Emirates launched a $5 million research program for rain enhancement science. Groundwater supplies were running low, and demand for water is projected to double in the next 15 years as the country continues to grow. In 2016, UAE carried out 177 cloud seeding operations, primarily hydroscopic seeding in the mountains to add water to aquifers and reservoirs. The United States is no stranger to weather manipulation either. From the mid-1960s through the early 1980s, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, actively pursued Project Storm Fury, a program for experimental hurricane modification. Cloud seeding has especially been used in the Great Plains and western states to combat drought. So Wyoming just completed a $15 million study over 10 years that concluded that cloud seeding can add, on average, 10% more snow to an existing storm. In Idaho this year, the National Science Foundation partially funded a research project to test seeding clouds to increase snowfall near communities where it can be used for crop irrigation and hydropower. Idaho Power is interested in putting more snow on the ground in the mountains, which leads to more water in the rivers from snowmelt, said atmospheric scientist Jeff French of the University of Wyoming in a statement. In turn, that leads to more power generation capability throughout the year, is what he was quoted saying. Weighing the costs and benefits. So, messing with the weather is a tricky science, and more research is needed to explain exactly how it works. There has been healthy skepticism that challenges whether cloud seeding and techniques are effective. Since weather systems are complex and impossible to duplicate, it's hard to prove how much rain has been added to a cloud. So aside from improving the efficiency, efficacy, there are also risks involved with modifying nature. Introducing a salt or other chemicals into the rain could alter microclimates and possibly interfere with nearby crop growth, which would defeat the whole purpose. There is a potential to abuse the science by using it as military tactic to force storms on enemies or sabotage crops. Though this practice is banned by the United Nations. So nevertheless, weather manipulation is worth exploring, since when used properly, it has so much potential work for the greater good. It can reduce fog at airports, minimize air pollution in large cities, and be used for hydropower. It is mostly used to add water to areas with chronic drought, and even a small percentage increase could go a long way towards creating better agricultural conditions. It can prevent or reduce damaging weather such as hail, hurricanes, and tornadoes. In the Canadian province of Alberta in 2012, scientists attempted to use cloud seeding to mitigate a hailstorm. They hypothesized that seeding the clouds would redistribute water vapor in the clouds to form smaller hailstones rather than golf ball size hail that was predicted. Radar data collected afterward showed that the storm was 27% milder than the original forecast. It's hard to prove cause and effect, but meteorologists involved in the project say it saved up to 100 million Canadian dollars in property damage. In places that are prone to severe storms, even a slight reduction in hail intensity could save millions and easily offset the cost of a weather manipulation program. Cloud seeding is still an imperfect science with room for progress, but one with potential to positively alter the way weather affects our lives. So that's it. That's the article. If you want to go check it out, it's kind of interesting reading. What I found most interesting about it is, it's common for us silver stackers and people interested in silver just to do commentary on uses for silver. And we know about the electricity, conductivity, thermal conductivity, the antibacterial, all these other uses, right? Solar, electrical. But, making rain was not one of them I expected to find. So that was pretty interesting. I'm sure it's been out there for a while. A lot of you might have seen it, but I found it interesting and just wanted to share with you guys. And being the thinker that I am, it just makes me ponder other uses, okay, within certain industries. All right, so we know they're not talking about silver, of course, like we got laid out here, right? But it's still interesting that it is AgI. It's the silver iodide, right? So silver iodide is an inorganic compound with the formula AgI. Compound is a bright yellow solid. The samples always contain impurities of metallic silver that give it a gray coloration. So it's pretty interesting, all in all. I never thought about silver doing that. But scientists say it's the molecular structure. They think it's because it's equal to ice or similar to ice that may help gather water. But it makes you wonder too, when you have storms, you've got the hot and the cold front. And a lot of times you'll have lightning, and you always think about the thermal conductivity of silver along with the electrical properties. Who knows what kind of magic's going on up there, but I found it interesting. And I also thought, if this silver iodide has a molecular structure similar to ice, and it does have a hygroscopic effect, my thinking is you just wonder if it would enhance the way an A coil works in an air conditioning unit. If it had a coating of this silver in that shape, right, on the fins, would it help condense more and condense quicker inside an A coil? Might be an application patent. So there you go. You guys heard it here first. I'm kidding. But, it is true. The possibilities are endless. As technology keeps evolving, we find out more and more of silver's capabilities. So in the future, I just keep seeing silver just continuing to go up. You've heard me say it before. Hopefully it's in our lifetime. And the mining deficits are just continuing as well. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys this evening. I've been working 12-hour shifts, hard to get a video in. I hope you found it useful. So you guys will get out of here. But as always, peace out and keep stacking.